course. I'm happy to be able to remember. My memory isn't as good as it used to be, though. Every time I get older, I'm like, wow, I used to be so sharp. And it's not like I'm that old. Like, I'm only turning 27. But my memory is... Oh, well, okay, so we don't have a yard or anything to be able to cut lumber. I am going senile. Maybe I'm not, maybe I'm malnourished, and that's why I'm dumb. They cut it for me. Maybe. Maybe. They always mess up. I don't trust my local Lowe's. And I refuse to shop at Home Depot. I don't know. The audio sounds cleaner today to me. But maybe I'm just crazy. Or maybe I was just overly critical yesterday because I was overtired. By the time I went to bed, I was awake for about 24 hours. So I wasn't doing well. Tell these people, stop messaging me. I am streaming. Oh, that was loud. Oh my god. Wait, tell me right now. Have you been, since the stream started, can you hear all the cars outside? Outside? Like, how many cars pass by? If you can tell me how many cars just passed by, I will give you a treat. You have heard of it. It is what it is, okay? I have a cheap apartment. 4. Good job. You get a 4 kisses. 5. 6. Maybe I should do a car counter. That was a big semi. That was a Amazon delivery freight train of a truck. I feel like also lately there's been more cycles. More people have motorcycles lately. A twain. It's bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. This shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Where's my fuzzy I had yesterday? That's not my fuzzy. It's on the ground somewhere. Hi, Shira. Hi. Oh, that's too loud. I haven't set it up yet. You can follow me on it. I haven't posted anything. I estimate that. Holy shit. I'm so sorry. That's my medicine. I estimate that I'll have more time for it when my class is over. So that would be like mid-June. Which, if you think about it, that's not so long from now. So get ready for slut summer. Kiss and Joy 420. It's been ages. I've been wanting to play those games all day. I love slut summer. La 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 la. You're welcome. Someone went too hard at the gym. Jesus. Straight for the home. It's over. It's headed straight for my skin. They're shaking my legs, shaking the thoughts from my head. Who put these waves in the door? I cracking out, I pour. I'm Mr. Loverman. No, Miss No. Those calves gonna make summer hotter. For real, I love me some calves. And I miss my lover. The ways in which you talk to me have me wishing I were gone. The ways that you say my name have me running on and on. Oh, I'm cramping, oh, I'm cramping up. But you're cracking up, you're cracking up. And I miss my lover man. I miss my lover man. I've shattered now. I'm spilling out upon this linoleum ground. I'm wailing in my plane again before I can back to you. Oh, what am I supposed to do without you? Good night, good night, good night. I hope you have a wonderful night full of beautiful dreams. Dreams, not streams. I miss my lover. Thank you for the daily hug. Give me warm and fuzzies. How dare you? This is now the Wizard ASMR stream. You're a little bit hairy. You're an orphan, Harry. Voldemort killed your parents, Harry. Did you put your name in the cupboard of fire? Yes. Granddaddy spotted. Call me Daddy. Kisses for pow, 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 pow. My feet are tingly, so sleepy, so asleep. Hi, Puchan. Oh, I don't have to get just. My feet are so asleep. You promised me that I was combined. You must have had yourself a strange heart like way through the drive, 'cause your voice trailed off exactly as you passed my exit sign. Kept on driving straight and left a future to the right. Now I'm stuck between my anger, blame that I can't face. Memories are something even smoking weed does not replace, and I am terrified of weather, 'cause I see you when it rains. Doc told me to travel, but there's COVID on the planes, and I love Vermont, but it's the season of the sticks, and I saw your mom, she forgot that I existed, and it's half my fault, but I just like to play the victim. I'll drink alcohol till my friends come home for Christmas, and I'll dream each night of some version of you that I might not have, but I did not lose. Now your tire tracks and one pair of shoes, and I'm split in half, but that'll have to do. So I thought that if I piled something good on all my bad, that I would cancel out the darkness I've inherited. Peak sleepy. Inherited from dad. No, I am no longer funny, 'cause I miss the way you laugh. He once called me forever. No, you still can't call me back. And I love Vermont, but it's the season of the sticks, and I saw your mom, she forgot that I existed, and it's half my fault, but I just like to play the victim. I'll drink alcohol till my friends come home for Christmas, and I'll dream each night of some version of you that I might not have, but I did not lose. Now you're tire tracks and one pair of shoes, and I'm split in half, but I don't have to do. Oh, that'll have to do. My other half was you. I hope this pain's just passing through, but I doubt it. And I love Vermont, but it's the season of the 6th night. Saw your mom, she forgot that I existed, and it's half my fault, but I just like to play the victim. I'll drink alcohol till my friends come home for Christmas, and I'll dream each night of some version of you that I might not have, but I did not lose. Now your tired tracks and one pair of shoes, and I'm split in half. That'll have to do. Have to do. Oh, outside people. Not my neighbors doing God knows what in the parking lot. My God, I'm so lonely, so I open the window to hear sounds of people, to hear sounds of people. Venus, planet of love, was destroyed by global warming. Did its people want too much too? Did its people want too much? I don't want your pity, I just want somebody near me. Guess I'm a coward, I just want to feel alright. And I know no one will save me, I just need someone to kiss. Give me one good honest kiss and I'll be alright. Nobody, 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 ooh, nobody, nobody, nobody. I've been big and small and big and small and big and small again, and still nobody wants me, and still nobody wants. And I know no one will save me, I'm just asking for a kiss. Give me one good movie kiss and I'll feel alright. Nobody, 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 ooh, nobody, 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 ooh, nobody, no. Nobody, no. Gajira. Skipper, hello. Hello. How are you doing? Sippy ippy. glitchy. Glitchy. Now, should I play these hentai games right now? Let's see. This one's called. No, just kidding. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. They're free demos. They're free demos of Yuri games. I didn't play them yet. Thank you for the follow, Sakura. Since this is an ASMR stream, I get to give you spell your name and give you some kisses. Okay, would you like that? I'm so sorry. I know that wasn't very relaxing. It's been a while since I've done purring. Do I even remember how? Do I even remember how? me being too booby. Hi Kira, it's been a while. How are you? Are you okay? Hold on. I heard a loud noise. Everything is fine. Oh my. Yeah. Oh. Shall I read you some Pokemon today? Or oh shit. Shall we? Or would you like me to read you a story? I started reading this book. Well, I only read the first page, but I could start again. This one's called A Sapling Cage. Hold on. Sorry about the car. There we go. Now it's proper book reading. The alder tree was ancient, and its leaves and branches left sunlight dappled on the forest floor. It was also dead, and it shouldn't have been. Everywhere around us, the forest was waking from winter. Everything was bluebells and white trilliums, and new buds on branches and bright green leaves. Everything was spring, except the alder. Its bark was sharp, with cold, like ice or stone. Its leaves were gray, think trees are supposed to be like that, Lane said. We'd finished our morning work on the communal fields. Not 100 yards away from the trees, horses ran in the pasture, excited to be outside after so many months of snow. I could smell rain in the air. It should have been a perfect day, but the elder was dead, and it shouldn't have been. Witchcraft, Lane said. That was her explanation for everything strange. It couldn't be witches, I said. That was my defense of everything blamed on witchcraft. My feetsies keep falling asleep. There's stuff out here. Stuff out here. She paced around the tree. It took her several paces for every lap. She was half a year younger than me. She'd just turned 16, but she was the one always trying to burn off extra energy. I peered at the frost gathered on the alder's bark. I see another one, Lane said. She took off running further into the forest, and I caught up with her a ways away. Thank you for the daily hugs. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Jesus, my feet keep falling asleep. I don't know what to do. Help. Someone send help. Let's see, what can I do? Okay. Sorry, the struggle. Okay, that's easier. Okay, let's see. I rest the microphone on my titties and see if that helps. Who else but witches? Lane asked. Trees don't turn cold. Only a witch could save it, I said. You'll be able to save it. Oh, hooray, Lane said sarcastically. It's not that bad. I didn't make that deal. I don't think my dead mom's promise should mean anything. Lane and I started back toward the village. Witches get to wear those black skirts, though, I said, and curse people and heal people. I'd rather be a knight. You know, I'd rather be a knight. Why are you arguing with me about this? That was a fair question. I thought it over as we walked. If I was a girl, I'd pretend to be you and go in your place. I'd always wanted to be a witch. It's a shame you aren't a girl, Lane said. I agreed, not just because of the witch thing. One of my earliest memories was being glad that my name was Laurel. That my name, Laurel, was in fact... Oh, shoot, Jesus, I can't read. I'm just putting words that aren't even there. Laurel was a common name for girls as it was for boys. 5 years back, my mother had given up trying to keep me out of her face powder and paint. Lane had always been game to trade clothes with me. Those were the only two people in town who I talked to about how I should have been a girl. Had enough social problems already. When I was little, maybe 7, I told my friend River to call me a girl instead of a boy, and he just punched me right then and there without thinking about it. My mom thought my nose was broken, and a traveling witch had to set it for me. River apologized, and maybe he even meant that he was sorry, but he made it seem like the whole thing was my fault, like I scared him or something. So yeah, only my... Jesus, I cannot get comfortable. I am, like, hurting no matter where I'm sitting. Sorry. So yeah, only my mom and Lane knew about the dresses and the paint. If I were a witch, though, I could turn the next person like River into a goat, or figure out things like why those trees were cold. I'll do it anyway, I said, as we walked through the fields. of flax and barley. What? I started talking faster so I wouldn't lose my nerve. When the coven comes through to take you, I'll tell them I'm you, and I'll go off and learn to be a witch. You're a boy, Lane said. Girls are allowed to be knights now. Why can't boys be witches? And besides, it's not my fault I'm a boy. It's still true. I can pretend. Lane walked up next to me and threw her arms around my shoulders. What if you got caught? I won't get caught, I said. Strangers always think I'm a girl anyway. My mother and I ran the stables. There are more popular roads than South Eid, and there are more prosperous towns than Leadstone on South Eid, but we still saw our share of wayfarers. Glad. Most were on their way to Port Keck, to our east, or Deadman Castle to our west, and most of them had horses, and most of them stabled with us overnight. We served knights and mercenaries and merchants and brigands, and I was just reaching an age where grown men took not a small amount of interest in trying to figure out my gender. I didn't have even a hint of a beard. My shoulders were narrow, and I had my mother's sharp features. These are witches, though, Lane reminded me. They can see more than other people can. Are you trying to talk me out of it? I asked. No. She squeezed me tighter against her side as we walked. I'm just worried. What will you tell your dads? Or your mother? I won't tell Grell or George anything. My dads had us home all the way in Port Keck. I lived with them every autumn for a month or so when the storms kept them on land. Most of the year, I didn't hear from them, and their only contribution to my upbringing was the silver they sent my mother when they could. Mom, though, she'll understand. I love it like I love the Baron, my mother said when I told her. That was about as close to as she came to cursing. She sure didn't love Baron Eid. No one did. She sat in a rocking chair, a clay mug of wine in her hand. I'd waited until after supper to tell her because she never took news well on an empty stomach. I didn't either, come to think of it. She took a long draw off the mug. You're old enough to make your own mistakes. After that, she didn't say anything at all, which was kind of worse than her yelling at me, really. It left me with nothing to do but stand around. There was only one good chair. I'm trying to do voices, but I don't think I'm very good at voices. It left me with nothing to do but stand around. There was only one good chair on the porch of the stable's house, and come to my own conclusions about why it was a bad idea. I didn't want to do that. I'd made up my mind, so I tried not to linger on what the witches might do to me if they found out, or what the knights sometimes did to witches. I'll get to learn magic, I said. Real magic. Cauldrons and curses, and maybe I'll even learn how to fly. What is it you think witches do? They travel around doing good things, I said. They help some people and hurt some people, depending on what they deserve. That's what you'd want to do? Help some people, hurt other people? Since when have you liked hurting people? I don't know, Mom. Since never, I guess. It was my turn to grow quiet. I'd probably learned that trick from her. The cicadas were out and early, too, filling the air with their rising and falling song. The town drunk said it was going to be an irrational year. One of those years where the seasons don't know what they're supposed to do, and crops fail. No one paid him. Sorry about the car. No one paid him over much heed, but the cicadas really shouldn't have been out just yet. There's no way to disguise yourself, my mom said, breaking the silence. Not forever. You don't look it now, but you're going to grow into a man. By then, I bet I'll have magic enough to hide it, I said. I won't hear the end of it, never, not from Grell. When she invoked my birth father's name, I knew that was basically the end of it. She'd given up.
I was my mother's child through and through, and she knew I didn't care what Grell thought. I hadn't inherited anything from Grell, but skin half a shade darker than my mother's olive. "This is it, then," she said. She poured the dregs of her wine off into the grass to honor the dead, as she did with every cup. "Hi, Sekiro. The coven is going to be by soon enough, and you're going to lie to them, and you learn to be a witch, not a sailor, not a knight, not another Sir Bid, a stable master, but a witch. My son, the witch." I nodded, grinning. She hadn't stopped me. I knew deep in my heart that if it was truly a terrible idea, my mother would have tried harder to stop me. "What's Lane going to do while you're off being her? She want to learn how to run a stable?" "She's going to be a knight." "I am ASMRing as best as I can. Hi, Psycho. How have you been? What have you been up to?" Of course she is, my mom sighed. I knew she wasn't happy about me leaving. I knew she wanted someone to care about the stables, about Ledston, the way she did. But that wasn't me. It wouldn't have done anyone any good for me to pretend otherwise. "You're not doing okay. I'm sorry to hear. It seems like it's been a rough day for many of us this evening. But I'm happy that we can all come together and try to rest and relax and shake off those bad vibes, at least for the evening. When we're here, we're safe. It's gonna be a rough week. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Witches don't really keep proper schedules, but most years they made their way down South Eid around Mother's Day, the spring holiday. I figured I had about a week to prepare myself. The witches didn't know Lane by name. They were just coming for the daughter of Liana and of the lead now that she'd been 16. Liana of the lead now that she'd seen 16 years. I started sleeping over at the lead manor in case they came at night. The house was a decrepit shell, really. The rock walls overgrown with vines and half the lumber taken to rot. Lane did what she could to maintain it, but she lived there alone for 3 years. She spent most of her days working the communal fields and hadn't the skills or resources for serious repairs. The manor was a shadow of its former glory. Lead Manor, Dead Manor, Lane called it, rhyming the name. A few hundred years ago, Lane's ancestors had founded the town to mine lead. Then sworn fealty to some baroness or baron, serfs moved in, and those who weren't mining took to farming on the communal fields. 100 years back, collectivization had swept through the lowlands, and the baron had allowed it rather than lose power completely. Lane's family stayed richer than most of the rest of us, but only through trade and inheritance. They no longer ruled, and they no longer took tax. Only the baron did either of those things. By Lane's mother's time, the family barely had enough to maintain the ancient manor. The first night I spent there, waiting for the witches, Lane led me up treacherous stairs to her parents' old living quarters. We had to pick our way carefully across the sagging floor in the lamplight. "I'm going to bring this place back to its glory," Lane said, tucking her shirt sleeve free from a protruding nail. "I'll be the first night protector Ledston's had in 50 years. "You really think you'll come back?" I asked. "You won't?" "I mean, I'll visit my mom," I said. "Sometimes." "We could use a village witch," Lane said. "Just think of this place with a night protector and a village witch." "Too much world to see," I said. Since I made my mind to join the witches, I'd spent half my time waking and asleep, imagining all the things I was off to see and do. We stopped before a heavy cherrywood wardrobe set in the corner of the master bedroom. Its hinges were faded brass, but gold filigree still gleamed eternally bright along the door panels. Before Lane's mother died, Lane herself had solemnly told me this wardrobe was off limits. When does the chapter end? Okay, just the end of this chapter, and then we'll take a quick break so I can grab a snack. We are reading a little bit and then regular triggers. Thank you for the hydrate. I do need it. How are you, Toasty? How you doing? Lane selected an iron key hung on a chain from her belt and held it aloft so we might appreciate the seriousness of the moment. I'm sleepy. You ready? She asked. I nodded. I could scarcely wait. She opened the wardrobe. Black skirts and dresses hung from hooks. Stockings woven in intricate patterns lay in a pile. Jewelry finely crafted from plain materials littered beneath the glass lid of an ebony box. I'd studied at the loom enough to know the long days it took to weave a few yards of flax or wool. This was the accumulated wealth of life. My mother left pretty clear instructions for when I left to join the witches, Lane said. I was to bring a short dress, a long dress, a warm cloak, a winter skirt, and 3 pairs of stockings. So pick out whatever you like. My own dress. I would have my own dress. 2 of them even. I spent most of an hour making my decision, modeling each garment in front of the mirror on the inside door of the wardrobe. Not even Liana of the Len had ever owned a smooth glass mirror, so my image was distorted. That suited me fine. It let me imagine how I ought to look. I let my hair down out of its top knot. Long and straight and black, it framed my face well. I'd have worn it down all the time if I could. Though I was much taller than Lane, I was nearly the same size as Liana had been. Most of the dresses sat funny across my chest since I had nothing to fill them out, and even fewer of them were loose enough to cross the hips to hide the bulge between my legs. But in the end, I found 2 that fit me just right. Both were high-waisted, which made my legs look longer than my legs look longer and my torso shorter. 1 linen, 1 wool. When I wore those dresses, I couldn't stop smiling. You're beautiful, Lane said. She was smiling too. She thought for a minute, then dug through the wardrobe. She pulled out a necklace. A black stone pendant hung from a delicate steel chain. She held it out to me. No one in town had anything so nice. Your mother didn't say anything about taking any jewelry, I said. She said, take it as a thank you. I took it and put it on. It hung just above the low neckline of my long dress, the stone cool and comforting against my chest. Despite how I was born, I was going to get to be a witch. Despite how I was born, I was going to get to live as a woman. Lane squeezed me. She was crying into my neck. Thank you, she whispered. Of course. I started crying too. I slept in my long dress that night. I wanted to get used to wearing it, and also didn't want to take it off. I slept in one of the empty rooms in the manor. A windstorm howled outside, and the branches cracked in the distance. I dreamt about a witch with translucent skin. I saw her skull and her veins and her teeth, like I was looking through foggy glass. She was a real woman, a real witch, who wandered through town when I was an infant. I dreamt about her ever since. That night, though, I was a witch, and the glass-faced witch was with me, next to me, tied to me with thick hemp rope. We were in a boat. Hands lifted us out of the boat and threw us overboard, and we sank, and I was drowning, tied to the glass-faced witch. Mother's maid came and went with no sign of the coven. No word from anyone passing through, either. Though, of course, I had to be careful with my inquiries. Witches weren't beloved around everywhere across Kecken. None of the baronies outlawed witchcraft outright, but not everyone knew and appreciated the social utility of witchcraft, and very few of the knightly brotherhoods would raise a hand or sword to protect witches. Some knights saw witches as a threat to their power and hunted them. If I told the wrong knights we were expecting witches, I might even get them killed. Most of the news was talk of strife far to the north. Duchess Helty had pressed some ancient and dubious claim and annexed some barons' holdings. The news felt impossibly distant. I tried to make myself useful at the stables, but as the days wore on, I got more and more anxious and distracted. One day I forgot to fasten a buckle, and a passing merchant fell from her horse and injured her back. After that, my mother told me it was about time she got used to running the place alone anyway, which left me with too much time to worry. What would witches do to an imposter? Would they kick me out, turn me into a sow, or kill me? They'd probably just kick me out. Maybe. My mother took to eating dinner with us at Lane's house, particularly after she fired me and spent more of my time baking and cooking. 5 days after Mother's May, I was reaching my breaking point. We ate on the back porch, where the overgrown garden kept away prying eyes, and I wore my short dress. The sun was just below the horizon. We were mopping up the last of turnip and barley soup with fresh baked bread, and I just couldn't keep my feelings scooped up anymore. I give up, I said. This waiting, it's going to kill me, or the witches will kill me, or people will kill me for being a witch. Better I just give up. I'll go be a sailor or something instead. Sailors see the world too. Lane looked up, her brown eyes just starting to go wide with fear. If I backed out, the coven would take her instead. You can do anything you want with your life, Laurel, my mother said. I always knew a lecture was coming when she used my name, and I don't wish you were off to be a witch, but you made a promise to Lane. I didn't say a promise, I said. As soon as the words came out of my mouth, I regretted them. Saying that you promise isn't the only way to promise. It's okay, Lane said. It was nice of you to offer, but if you back out, it's okay. I didn't like my mom being mean to me, and I didn't like Lane being nice to me. I didn't like much of anything at all. The Ledston bell tolled. Twice. The Ledston bell rang once for friendly knights and merchants to come to town. Twice for friendly brigands and witches and other people the Baron didn't approve of. 3 times for royalty, and cacophonously for any of the above who looked like they might stir up trouble. Never mind, I said, standing up. I'll do it. Upstairs with you, my mother said to Lane. Out of sight. You look too much like your mother. Lane darted over and hugged me. She pulled back to look at me like she was trying to say something. Then she gave up, shook her head, and ran into the house. Are you going through with this? My mother asked. I stood up straight, smoothed my dress. Of course, I said. I made a promise. My arms shook uncontrollably at my side as I walked to the center of town, and it was all I could do to concentrate on my breathing. They have come for the daughter of Liana of the Lead. 5 witches stood shoulder to shoulder in the center of town square. My childhood, I'd wanted to know about witches. My whole childhood. It was always hard to separate rumor from truth, but I knew a few things. I knew that every full-fledged witch was the other's equal, for one thing. Each of these 5 wore black from head to toe, despite the warm evening and the heat radiating from the cobbles beneath their boots. One was roughly my mother's age, with ivory pale skin and narrow nose of someone from the far north. 2 of them were as old as anyone had ever seen. 2 of them could scarcely have been 20. One of the youngest had a fresh wound across her face and stood with the help of a crutch. 2 of the others had bandaged arms. They must have had trouble on the way. Maybe that was why they were so late. Most of them were armed with spears or axes or swords. The uninjured young one carried what looked like a bird cage, covered with a cloth, embroidered in the indecipherable runes of witchcraft. Behind them, a girl my age stood shyly, like she didn't know quite what to do. Another recruit, most likely. She wore the most beautiful black cloak, made of glistening seal wool. Its hood had a long, pointed tail. That was a good cloak for a witch. I'm Laurel, I said. I lie the best when I sort of just avoid telling the truth instead of lying outright, so I didn't mention that I only had one name. I stepped forward. One witch, one of the crones, broke from the line and circled me, looking me over. The rest of the witches carried baskets of wicker on their backs, but this woman bore a casket child-sized instead. Laurel of the Lead, she said. My name was just Laurel, as my family bore no titles. But who was I to correct a witch who'd likely been born before my long-dead great-grandmother? She stopped in front of me. Do you come willing or merely accepting? She asked. There was an old scar on her cheek, a crescent moon, white against her dark olive skin. I come willing, I said. My voice wavered. As I spoke, what had I gotten myself into? With eyes as old and wise as hers, How could she not see? How could she not see right through me? The witch smiled. Some of her teeth were yellow, some of her teeth were black. One of her teeth was capped in gold, another capped in pearl. The contrast between them was unnerving. Not many come willing, not these past years. Why? I asked. She ignored my question and went back to stand in the line. Only a handful of people gathered to see the strange procession. The herbalist, a few farmers, the midwife, River's mother. If any one of them said anything about me dressed up like a girl, the whole plan would fall apart. My mother stood among the onlookers, balancing my wicker basket of clothes on her hip, holding it by one of the woven shoulder straps. Laurel of the Lead, I summon you into the Order of the Vine. Today and forever, you are Laurel of the Vine. I nodded. I knew no courtly manners for an event like this. Do you have anything to bring with you? Just clothes, I said. My mother walked toward me then, setting the basket down by my feet. Tears welled in the corners of her eyes. You've been like a daughter to me, my mother said. She winked and hugged me for a moment. Go off and be your best self. The crone looked between me and my mother for a brief moment, as if noticing the similarities in our features, but said nothing. With no more formality, the line of witchers turned and walked out of town. I grabbed my basket of clothes and hurried after. They hadn't seen through me. I was going to be a witch. I wasn't shaking anymore. I was grinning. And that is chapter 1. Meow, meow, meow.
Do I play one of those suspicious games? Do I... Ooh. Nasty. Oh yeah, so you have to take a break, I guess. I guess that is what I said I was going to do. Fine. You were right. BRB. back home. I hope everybody had a good break. I got a cookie. I snuck a chocolate chip cookie into my tummy. Don't tell anybody. I've been eating too many cookies. It's good to be back. Too many cookies. Bad for me. I probably gained 10 pounds this week. Toaster, it's time to spell your name. Fixed now, right? I remembered it. One time, I was playing, I was being playful, and I was like, I'm gonna graduate right now. And I did a thing where I hide in the corner like this. I was like, I'm graduating. And then my, and then my computer OBS crashed. and my stream ended. It happens. Stretch. Thank you. Thank you for the stretch. Brum, brum, brum. I can play a game. I feel like. I'm so sorry. I hope you feel better soon. Please get some sleep. Get some sleep. Thank you for the daily hug. I feel warm and fuzzy. Going to end stream a little bit earlier this evening. I am feeling a bit tired and unwell, but I will see you on Wednesday for some Fortnite, because I know it's been a while since I played Fortnite. So, hope to see you. Let's look for someone to rate. Let's see. Mm-hmm.